Yes, wherever you may be listening, welcome to Keeping Score on this chilly Monday afternoon. And on top of all that, a lot going on right now. And we could not have a better guest today. We have Cutler Klein joining us via phone. He was doing some work for NHL.com this summer. Now, back in Nashville, Tennessee, he is the Vanderbilt Commodore himself, covering the Predators for a Penalty Box Radio right now, and having a hell of a time doing it as well. Cutler, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Dylan. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. A lot going on back in New York, and plenty to talk about, but thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. I was trying to get you in studio for like the last 2 weeks because I knew that you were back home in New York. But you've been all over the place, traveling the world. What's that about?
Yeah, it was a busy break, traveling all over. First, it was in Los Angeles. Then it was over in down in Shreveport, Louisiana, to cover Vanderbilt in the Camping World Independence Bowl. And then I was off to Utah for a little bit, and then before I knew it, I was right back here. So it was pretty busy. I love to, maybe if I'm home over the summer, come back into the studio. But you know, happy to phone in if I have to, and talk about sports in the Big Apple.
Yeah, well, like I said, there was a lot to watch this weekend. But before we get into the Giants, we're gonna get into Odell and all that good stuff. The Giants wild card weekend, national championship tonight. Rangers heading into their bye week. But before we get into that, you are for the first time covering NHL hockey right now, and I just want to ask you about that experience. I mean, what's it like? So you arrive at the arena. What's it like in the press box? What's it like in the locker room? How has that whole experience been?
Well, that experience has been simply unbelievable. It's been incredible just to be able to to be out in the press box for all these games, and to be able to do what I love, be covering NHL hockey at a professional level. It's really, really incredible, and people up in the press box in Nashville are so nice. I've been lucky enough to be able to get to know pretty much all of them, and it's a great community there. People that are really passionate about the game, really passionate about covering this team. And you know, it's a really good group, and and the players are very, very fun to talk to. They're even in losses, they're open, they're willing to talk. It's overall just been an incredible experience. I'm so grateful to be able to do it this year, and hopefully I can keep it going around the NHL at some point.
So the Predators score, and sorry if I seem a bit distracted, but I'm just trying to manage the fact that I don't actually see the live stream on YouTube, on the YouTube watch page. I don't see that it's up and running for some reason, even though it says I'm good. So I'm trying to deal with that, but it is recording anyways. So I'm not sure what's going with that, and as we talk, I'm going to try to deal with that. So I'm wondering, the Predators score, right? In the press box, what's the reaction? Is it nothing? Is everyone like professional? Do people yell? And I thought about this when you heard Don Maloney yelp into the microphone as Don LaGreca was calling Michael Grabner's game-winning goal last night. I'm wondering what the environment is like in there.
Well, the environment is very, very professional.
Okay.
It's completely, you know, people are there to cover the game. They're there to write. They're there to do videos. They're there to call the game. It's not another fan space. It's very much a professional press box. And people there are passionate, and they will, you know, it's not. There's no cheering going on. There's no homerism throughout much of it. But it's, you know, people are passionate about the game, and they will, you know, have lively debates about what's going on. Like if there's a really fantastic play, people will react and say, "Oh my God, that was incredible," or whatever. But people are very into the game, and that's the thing I find about a lot of people in hockey, that they're so passionate about the game of hockey. That people really, really love the game and appreciate it, and really care about it. So the people that are up there, they're going to really marvel at everything that goes on the ice, just because they love the game so much, and they love seeing all these plays unfold. They love seeing all the players do their thing, and I think that's the general consensus, that people are just very passionate about hockey in general.
What's something that, if you haven't experienced being in a professional locker room, what's something that the average person would not know? So something that now you know, but if you weren't in the locker room, you just couldn't understand unless you were there.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of the camaraderie that goes on in that locker room, because usually what you see on, you'll see the quotes in the story, you'll see the little video snippet from the locker rooms, from the people in front of their locker stalls. But I think what you really get is the camaraderie amongst these players, and also the relationship that some of these broadcasters establish with them. Like, going into some of the games, you'll see a lot of the TV announcers go into each locker room, and they're not going to be necessarily interviewing them. They'll just be sitting down and chatting with the player, kind of getting to know them a little bit, catching up with them, talking about some of what the stuff is going to go on in the game. And that's usually when you hear the announcers say, when I spoke to this person earlier, he was talking about how they want to do this. They get to know these players and the coaches, and to be able to really get inside the game in that way. But the camaraderie amongst these players in the locker room is really, really incredible. It feels like, if you played a high school sport before, if you've played any intramural game, and you have a locker room where you're with your teammates kind of hanging out, it's a similar feel to how it is in the professional locker rooms, just on a much bigger stage, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, so whatever reason the stream is not working properly, so I'm just going to restart it. This segment, I wanted to hear about that because it's so awesome what you're doing right now. This segment was recorded, so it will be up. But
okay.
I'm gonna restart the stream because it's kind of inexplicable. I have had problems with the stream in the past, but it's always told me it's not working. This time, This time it's telling me that it's working, and it's just not.